Hey, what's going on, guys? For today's Mook review, we're going to be taking a look at a Hobby Japan Mook here. This is HJ Mechanics, book number 20, issue number 20, focused on the Double Zeta series. So a bunch of mobile suits here, model kits from the 0088 year in the UC timeline. There's also going to be a couple of extra other Gundam unrelated things towards the back of the Mook we'll see in there as well. It looks like it's going to be a really cool one. A lot of my personal favorite mobile suits are featured in here, some really cool ones. But that's not all. I actually have a giveaway for you guys here today as well. You may have seen in a past Mook review, we did take a look at this issue of Gundam Weapons here about Stardust Memories, and it features the Dendrobium there on the front. Very cool. So we took a look at this one in the past. Recently, a friend of the channel, Riley, sent me another issue of this, so I have an extra one here that I wanted to give away to one of you guys. So stay tuned in the video. Towards the end, I'll let you guys know how to enter to win this for yourself. I'll choose one of you guys as a winner and send this out to you. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at the HJ Mechanics book. All right, so right here on the front, a couple of things to point out. There's the Gundam 40th anniversary logo right there. The yen price for this, the MSRP before tax, 2,200 yen, so less than $20, very reasonable. We have about 130 pages, including the final page there. It's just going to be like staff credits. There you can see this really nice looking Double Zeta Vercom Master Grade build here, which is what's on the front. And then also next issue is going to be Next Heavy Metal. Anyway, it's about the L game, I guess the next issue is going to be. So that actually would be a cool one to check out. So might pick up that one as well. I guess while we're here, we can take a look at the back cover. We've got the Dwadge and the Dwadge Kai Master Grade Premium Bandai kits there featured as well. A couple of really cool kits that I quite enjoy and looking forward to checking those out in here. But there's that Master Grade Double Zeta build. Not sure who that's by, but we'll get into it in here. So right on the front inside page here, we've got some contents. So here's a list of everything that's going to be featured, all like the bulk of the issue, and it also tells you like what the model kit is and then who it's by. So the modeler is all here on the contents, which is cool. And then the last little bit, there's going to be some more about some other stuff like tutorial kind of bits, and then a bit about like how to build a couple of other different type of model kits as well. So it's not, like I said, 100% entirely Gunpla in here, but there's some cool stuff. Looks like these are 1/44 scale models of like the Zeta, Double Zeta, Hyaku-Shiki, the Gundam Mark II, and that riding armor there. It's pretty cool. So we'll get into it here with the first page that features once again the Double Zeta, and then like a little thumbnail image of some of the other kits that are going to be featured. A lot of really cool Xeon, or I guess it would be Neo Xeon mobile suits featured in this issue. But here's some more info, I guess kind of like background story info. We have a bunch of artwork, which is really cool to see. Art of some of the different mobile suits from this era, like the Gundams, and then over here a lot of the Neo Xeon mobile suits. So a lot of these we do have model kits for, like modern model kits. Like I think probably all of these we have like old model kits for, but not all of them do we have modern kits for. For example, the Galus-J would be one that would be really cool to get a new like HGUC kit of that, and of course the Kapul, which we know that Bandai at least has some of the runners for a HGUC Kapul, because we had the Momo Kapul kit out a few years ago now, and in that kit a few of the runners were marked just simply Kapul. But that said, if you can find the old 1/44 scale model kit of this from Turn A, it's in a different color scheme. It's in the Turn A like green color scheme, but it's actually a pretty nice kit considering that it's like a 500 yen kit, like just non-grade 1/44 scale. But that said, yeah, I really hope that we do see an HGC Kapul at some point. Also, the Jamru Fin is another really cool design that there isn't, again, like an old kit of back from the 80s, but would love if we got like a new model kit of the Jamru Fin. Would be pretty cool. There's some interesting designs here. Also, another one that's on my most wanted list here, the Gaymalk, is another one that there's a really cool like Katoki fixed figuration figure of that, and would love to see that as like a either HGUC or RE100 kit would be awesome. And then I know a lot of people love the Queen Mantha as well. I'm not a big fan of the Queen Mantha design, to be honest, but yeah, I know that there's a lot of people who probably would like that one as well. All right, the Double Zeta Gundam here. This one's modeled by Naoki, of course. I should have guessed that. I think I was thinking that, and I just wasn't entirely sure, but yeah, of course, this one's modeled by Naoki. Doesn't have Naoki's signature kind of like very light weathering on it, but it's in his other like super crisp and clean style here, which looks really nice. So fantastic modeling here on this one. The colors and just, yeah, the crispiness of the paint job on this looks fantastic. The decal is really nice on there too. I believe some of these decals are probably from, I think there was like a decal set from a Gundam Hobby Life issue that had decals for this kit, and that's probably what we're seeing on there. It would be my guess. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head with that, but some cool stuff in there. And I believe this is not the enhanced version, by the way, although as many of you know, there is also like an enhanced version, which has a little bit different proportions. Some of the parts like are a little bit longer and things like that. And you can also get that as like a part set, it's like a P-Bandai set. But yeah, this is just the regular version. I don't think that we're gonna see another version of the Double Zeta Gundam in here. But here it is transformed. Yeah, the Double Zeta Gundam 2 is not really one of my favorite Gundam designs, but the kit is fantastic. If you guys have not built this Master Grade Verka, I highly recommend it. Really cool. The transformation, I mean, it's not for everybody. I think also the transformation's not my favorite, but the kit is really nice, looks great, so definitely check it out. And then we've got the Hamma-Hamma here, the RE100 kit. Really hoping that at some point we will see, I'm still holding out hope that we're going to see the return of the RE100 line at some point. It does seem to be pretty much dead for the time being, but I've still got hope in my heart. This one's modeled and described by Yoshitaka Chotoku, so another familiar modeler here. This one does have that very light weathering on it, which I do really like. I enjoy that. It's a style that you see a lot from Naoki, but not for that particular build. But here we can see it on this one. You guys are probably going to have a hard time even seeing it on camera here in video. You can probably see how it does have just this very slight weathered look to it, very subtle, but it looks fantastic. And again, the painting and colors and everything on this look really good. We do have, and we are going to have this throughout, like a little bit of work in progress shots. You'll see like a couple of little shots with work in progress here and there, which is cool to see. I always like to see a good amount of that, and so more is always better when it comes to the work in progress shots for me. But there's a little bit in there, and then of course I'm sure there's more great information there in the text as well. That's just all going to be in Japanese. But you can see some interesting modifications that he's made here for this one. So Hamma-Hamma is a really cool design, definitely. So I've seen some really cool builds of that. This one definitely included. And then we've got the Dwadge reformation. So we've got, let's see, is this going to cover both Dwadges at once? This would be the Dwadge Kai, I believe, right? And then just the regular Dwadge. So okay, so we got the both versions. This one is modeled and described by Matsuoji, first age, and the regular Dwadge is by Kei Shimizu. Anyway, really cool photography here of the kids zooming along there in the desert. One thing that I love about these designs is that very MSV style look to them, from just the design and the colors and everything. Really cool. I love the MSV styling. And this one, I swear I've seen this build actually in a different Mook before, although I could be wrong. The weathering on the chest does look a little bit different from what I can remember. I know. Anyway, I've seen this kit in a different Mook before, but maybe not this particular build. Looks really cool. This one, again, has some really nice weathering on it. That's not anything like over the top. It doesn't have a bunch of chipping or anything. It's basically just some like sand and dust kind of like filtering on this as it's operating in the desert there. But that looks really nice. You have like coloring data on some of the builds. I've noticed there's a little bit there talking about the colors used for the paint and everything. It looks like, it's kind of hard to tell, and it's going to be difficult for you guys to see on camera, but here on like the chest plate too, there's like a little bit of like texture added onto the armor as well, which looks nice, and also that texture helps to hold the pigment used for adding that kind of dusty weathering on there. So otherwise on just like the smooth flat armor pieces, it's kind of harder to get that material to stick. But if you rough up the surface, there in this case, it looks like you just use some, it's kind of the usual putty technique to add texture onto there. And that helps to add to the look. So here we got the regular Dwadge. This one a little bit less unique in that it's pretty much like a Dom, essentially. It's not quite as unique in its design as the Dwadge Kai. But again, this one is really cool, and love that bazooka too. The cloth covering on the bazooka is really cool. Something that you can actually just make on your own. It's not the most difficult thing to just, not scratch build, but just mold, just using putty, like cloth coverings like that. But that one is really cool. And then I really like just the back. So like from the front, it doesn't look all that different from just kind of a standard Dom. It's on the back where it really is going to look a lot more different, with these big vents on there, the big vents in the back skirt, and these big like tanks there on the back pack and on the back of the legs as well. So it's a really cool design. And then the double bladed axe there that it has. I'm gonna say Heat Hawk, right? Anyway, yeah, some really cool weapons, really nice there, and it looks like some custom added Vulcan kind of machine guns there on the head too, or like modified parts. Looks really nice. So we got a bunch more here about the like kind of filtering done on this to give it that weather deserty kind of look. So that's really cool to see about the painting and the weathering on that. All right, then we've got another Double Zeta Gundam here. This one is going to be now going into 1/44 scale. So everything so far has been 1/100 scale. Now in 1/44 scale, it's the HGUC Double Zeta Gundam modeled by Yu-Fua. Again, a cool photography over here with the big forehead beam blast attack there. The HGUC Double Zeta kit, not quite as nice proportionally as the Master Grade Verka, of course, but some really nice work done on this one to really make it looking pretty nice, I gotta say. So you can definitely see in the work in progress images, like small little images right there. You can see a little bit about some of the proportion changes to this, extended the thighs, and it looks like extended the knees and then adjusted like the wings on the arms and stuff. So definitely some proportion adjustments along with some other modifications to help to make this look pretty cool looking there. And of course the colors look great as well. All right, the HGUC Hyaku-Shiki here, modeled by Manabu Kimura. First of all, really nice gold color on that. I'm sure, let's see. Oh, is there going to be coloring data? Maybe not going to be any coloring data for this one, but I'd be interested to know what exactly gold color that is. Really nice, because I mean, you see the Hyaku-Shiki in all sorts of different shades of gold, not only from Bandai, but just obviously people's like custom builds of it. It's a really nice looking gold there. Shiny, not too yellow either, but it's just a nice gold. And you can see it on the base jabber there. Couldn't think of the name, but riding on the base jabber. So we just got these couple of pages there for that. A couple of pages here for the Mega Rider as well. This one modeled and described by Professor Damien. First age, I guess first age is maybe like a modeling group would be my guess. I'm not exactly entirely sure, but it's a 1/44 scale scratch build here for this one. Although we do have some of these parts like available as in like with the Mega Shiki, and then I think that was also called the Mega Rider too. They sold it as like a separate set, but this one's obviously quite different. I mean, like it's essentially the same sort of design, but you can tell it's scratch built just because the proportions are just very different. These back parts are like much larger. The front part looks very different. So same design in theory, but a really cool scratch build here of the Mega Rider. But yeah, if you did want something like this, you can get the one that Bandai does make, either with the Mega Shiki or just on its own. All right, then moving on to the Gym 3 here, modeled and described by Kentaro. This is again, still HGUC, and I think we're probably just gonna be HGUC or 1/44 scale for pretty much everything else from this point. Usually they do 100 scale kits first and then 1/44 scale kits. And then by the time we're through those, then we'll be on to the other stuff later on, I think. Well, we'll see. So Gym 3, really cool design. Yeah, definitely my favorite of the three of like the main gym designs that we have, the Gym 1, Gym 2, Gym 3. The 3 is my favorite, really cool design here. This one's definitely a little bit more bluish, I think, than it typically is. It typically has like a little bit kind of greenish blue tint to it, but definitely more like stronger of that light blue color there for like the main armor color, which looks nice. Yeah, we got some more images here of this, some more nice detail images as well. Cool looking build and a great kit. Yeah, definitely one of the very nice HGUC kits I'd recommend you guys to check out if you've not built it. It's usually it's pretty easy one to find and pretty affordable kit, very reasonable price for it, I think, and pretty good kit for sure. So definitely check it out if you guys have not built the HGUC Gym 3. All right, so the Galus-J. So this one is the 1/44 scale kit, but it's the old kit. There is no HGUC kit of this again yet. Hopefully there will be at some point. It's a cool design. But for now, just the old HG kit here, modeled by Kei Tadano. And it's a really interesting design, for sure. This bit of text here was just kind of throwing me off up here, saying something about the HGUC kit, but after checking that, it looks like it's just talking about how an HGUC kit was used for this model, and you can see it here on the next page too. It looks like actually it was parts of the HGUC Rosen Zulu that were actually used to sort of modernize the old kit, which is very interesting. You can see Some parts they're used for like around the torso primarily, but I would imagine some parts for like maybe like the knee joints, elbow joints, or something like that maybe were also used. But that's something that's like pretty commonly done. That's what you can see a lot of people do, and you've maybe even tried it yourself, using parts from like a newer kit in the, especially in particular like joint areas is where you see it most commonly, because joints are kind of sort of universal looking, much more so than like armor. You wouldn't find like this exact like style of armor available in like a different kit. It's gonna look, you know, much more different, right? But anyway, very, very cool build here of the Galus-J, and definitely make me really wish that we will see an HGUC at some point. So speaking of HGUC, here we do have an HGUC of the Zissa, of course. This one is modeled by Poo Kumagai, and this would be the yellow version, or the Double Zeta version. There is also the Xeon Remnants version, which is the, I think it was green, right? From Gundam Unicorn, I think it was. I'm also now second guessing myself, trying to remember which one's which. I think this was, or anyway, this is a custom build, so it doesn't really matter what color it started off with. Anyway, but I think the yellow version was the P-Bandai version, and the green one is the standard release version, or maybe it was blue. Yeah. Can't remember, but it's one of those very odd designs that looks sort of interesting. I've actually not ever built it, the HGUC Zissa kit, but every time I see it, I think like, yeah, it looks pretty interesting. Like I'd be curious to try building it at some point. I'm sure at some point, hopefully I will get one and build it, but definitely very unique. So this one looks really cool though. I mean, the colors and everything on this look great. Looks fantastic. Yeah, it is HGUC, but interestingly, I don't know, the pictures, work in progress photos down here look kind of odd. So anyway, that looks really cool, and also has like the added Gyaradoga shield. I don't remember it including that shield. I think that's something that's custom. He gave it the shield there and the rifle that are shared with the Gyaradoga. It looks like either that or very similar. Yeah, I don't remember if that's what's included with the kit or if that's something custom. All right, here we've got the 144 scale Gaza-D, modeled by Orange Ebis. This one does have an HGUC kit, although I'm not sure if this is the HGUC kit or the old 144 scale kit, because it doesn't say HG Universal Sentry up there, with which it usually does. In other cases, it'll say HG Universal Sentry. This one it doesn't, so I'm guessing this is just the old non-grade kit. And looking at some of like the shapes and the details of it, it's another kit that's any version of the Gaza-D I've not ever built. But I mean, I've certainly seen the HGUC kit plenty of times, and just looking at like the shapes and details of this, it definitely looks more like what the older kit would look like, not the HGUC kit. So here you can see some work in progress photos of it like unpainted there, and it definitely seems to be the older kit. So interesting. Not a design I'm a big fan of, I'll say, but I know that there's a lot of people who are. It's one of the definitely more very unique designs. Speaking of L Game, which we saw, it's going to be the preview for the next one. This one kind of almost looks like it's something out of L Game or some other kind of mecha anime series, not Gundam. It's not a very Gundam looking design. Moving on then to the R Jarja. This one is the HGUC kit, one that took a long time for it to come out. We had the HGR Gyaga from the Build Fighter series out for quite a while before we actually got the original kit that the R Gyaga was based off of, but eventually we did, and it's a really cool kit. This is another one I would definitely recommend to you guys, either the Build Fighters version or the Double Zeta version. They both are really quite nice, so I would definitely recommend you guys to check out this kit if you get the chance. Really cool build here of this. This is one, yeah, I really like this design, and I would really like to work on this kit at some point. Again, either version, they're both cool, and I think I would really enjoy making my own custom build of either the Gyaga or the Jarja. It's a really interesting design. Really nice build here with some very nice customization ideas there for that as well. Great like subtle details and things added onto that. You love to see it. All right, and then we got the Bawu, HGUC Bawu. This one's another really interesting design, one that there is the 1/100 scale version with the RE100 kit, so kind of interesting that they didn't feature an RE100 scale version of the Bawu. This one's modeled by Kojima Daitaicho. So the HGUC version, of course, not going to be anywhere near as detailed as the RE100 kit, but there is some really nice details added to this, like these little like fins there on the top of the chest, some panel lining, scribing on that and everything, and just the painting and the colors on that look really nice. A lot of great details added for the HGUC kit For sure. All right, the Gazom here next. This is the old 1/44 scale kit, modeled once again by Kojima Dai Taicho for this one as well. Another kind of interesting kit, very similar to the Gaza-D, sort of in its design. Kind of reminds me a lot of that, having like this like really small torso and then like arms and like these like kind of binder things there. Except for the Gaza-D, it's swapped. Like the arms are connected on the body and the binders are like on the outside. Anyway, kind of similar in that way, but yeah, again, really interesting design there for this, those kind of binder parts there, and then kind of the backpack, and then it has that cool transformation, sort of like a mix between the Gaza-D and the Jamru Fin. Has certain different elements, especially with the transformation, kind of different elements that remind me of both of those designs, sort of like an amalgamation of those. But very interesting, certainly. This one would be cool. Again, not really one of my favorite designs, but I think it would make for a cool HGUC kit if Bandai were to make one. And hopefully they will. And I can assume that they probably will at some point. It's a pretty popular design, I feel like. As far as like obscure designs go, it's not like, well, like a mainstream popular, but it's definitely a popular one among Zeta, Double Zeta fans, I feel like. All right, the HGUC Drayson is up next. This one is modeled and described by First Stage, GAA. That's how the modeler's name is written there. All right, so Drayson fans, yeah, what do you think about that? Is that Drayson, right? Drayson? Anyway, gotta say, as a big fan of the Dom and this being somewhat similar design-wise, not a huge fan of this design. I don't know, there's certain elements that I find interesting. The head, like that very long face, I don't know, it's just not really for me. But there's definitely elements of the design that I do enjoy. The color scheme is quite interesting, quite unique, of course. That purple color scheme, it looks really cool. But so there you go, really nice build there of that guy. And then a diorama scene here, Scorching Battle with a few different kits. Here we've got the Zeta, the Double Zeta, a Gelgug, a Drayson, and let's see, what else we got there? A Zaku, Desert Zaku use in there as well. Oh, there he is, kind of down there in the bottom corner. So this one is a diorama modeled and described by Katsunari Kakuta, all HG 1/44 scale, or all 1/44 scale, I should say. The Desert Zaku is just not a HG, just an old 1/44 scale. And in fact, all of these kits might be, not sure, is it a mix of HG? Yeah, so some of them are HGUC, and then obviously some, like the Zaku in particular, would be just the 1/44 scale. So really cool desert diorama scene there with some nice effects of those like blade remote weapons from the Drayson's backpack kind of flying along there. So pretty cool to see. Not sure how much of a chance those mobile suits stand up against the Zeta and Double Zeta. Probably not going to be a victory for them, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess it depends on the pilot's skill, right? Up next here, the HGUC Zaku III, one of the very first HGUCs out in the line, actually. I know it's one that's always been kind of popular. There's a couple different variants of it. Another one that I've not actually ever built, though, but I would really love to see a 1/100 scale version of this. The HGUC, yeah, I'm not sure how well it stands up with it being quite old. I'm sure it's definitely not the nicest kit out there, but I mean, I'm sure it's probably still solid enough. But a master grade or 100 scale, like RE100 kit of the Zaku III would be awesome. I would love to see it. Not a huge fan of the gigantic, massive feet that it has, though. I don't know. It's something that kind of works for like the Dom or something, one of those kind of designs that has like the larger feet. But I feel like they're like proportionately too big, like clownishly large for the Zaku III. But it is a cool design. For sure. All right, and here we have the other Zaku III, the Zaku III Custom. This one's modeled and described by Duva, also just based on the HGUC kit here, of course. So, which color scheme do you guys prefer, the gray or the green color scheme? I don't know, the gray, I mean, as much as I love gray color schemes, it is a bit boring, but the green color scheme also just reminds me of the Zaku II FZ, which is not really my favorite because of the red accents. So not a huge fan of the red accents on a green Zaku color scheme. So I'm not sure which one is my favorite between the two. All right, here's the Jamru Fin 1/44 scale kit. A kit that I would like to pick up, the old kit. I've kind of been sort of on the lookout for one, hoping that it will get reprinted at some point, and I think in the past few years it hasn't been reprinted, unfortunately. I would love, again, if Bandai would make a new HGUC version of this, but in the meantime, hopefully maybe at some point I can get my hands on the old kit. This one definitely has a lot of work put into it to get it to looking as good as it does here, and it does look really cool. It's a really unique design for sure. That's one of the reasons why I like it. It's quite interesting, the design on this. The color is also looking pretty nice. I think this is a bit more, the colors seem a bit more brighter than like the official color scheme, although I'm not sure. Maybe I would have to go back and look maybe, but I don't remember the color being quite that bright on it. But anyway, really cool design. And then of course, as you all know, one of my favorite designs, the Regelgu. Here, this is the HGC version modeled by Shirasumi. And this one is available as both the old 1/44 scale kit, but then just in the past few years, Bandai did make a premium Bandai version of this. And I think there's a couple of versions of it actually that you can get. The Double Zeta version, and then also, I think they did also make the unicorn version as well, if I remember correctly. But it's a really cool design. Love the Regelgu design. So definitely recommend it to you guys. There's no official version of the master grade, although you can get a resin conversion set. I think there's a couple different resin conversion sets that exist that are out there to change the master grade into a master grade Regelgu. So I actually have one that I've been working on. I've been kind of like chipping away at it for a long time at home as just like a side project that I have there. But someday I'll finish that. We got the Gaz-R here. This one's modeled by Yoshimura of June Art Planning. This is the HGUC 1/44 scale set here of the two of these, of the Gaz-R and Gaz-L, I should say, featuring some very nice, those like decorative decals, the gold decals on there. I've not built this set, but these kits are based off of the HGUC Qubeley Beta, which is a really cool kit. So yeah, if you guys like the kind of knight styling of these and the fact that it's like a asymmetrical pair, I think that's kind of cool, kind of unique. But if not so much into that, then just the regular Qubeley Beta is a kit I would definitely recommend you guys to check out. It's a really nice one for sure. And then of course we've got the HGC Doven Wolf here. So this one's modeled and described once again by Yoshitaka Chotoku, and a really beautiful build here of the Doven Wolf. Hopefully, and I do think this is kind of unlikely, but my fingers are crossed that we will actually see a master grade of either the Doven Wolf or the Silver Bullet based off of the Gundam Mark V, although there's really not that much of the master grade Gundam Mark V that would be able to be repurposed for either a Doven Wolf or a Silver Bullet, but it would be nice. I think there's really only like a couple of runners that they could reuse. But even if it is just a couple of reused runners and it's mostly a new kit, I mean, hey, I would love it. I would absolutely love if we got a master grade kit of this design. Between the Doven Wolf and the Silver Bullet, which one do you guys prefer design-wise? They're both really cool. I really enjoy both quite a bit. And again, I feel like I'm saying this for a lot of these kits, but a really fantastic HGUC kit if you can get your hands on it, either the Doven Wolf or in its couple of different versions, or the Silver Bullet in a couple of different versions available of that. So a lot of different variations available if you like this design as far as HGUC kits go. And so if you've not built any of them, I would definitely recommend checking out at least one of those. All right, and this is the HGUC Qubeley here, the mass production Qubeley modeled by Keita Yagyu. And I believe this would be the Revive Qubeley kit. Yeah, looks like it. Definitely a really nice kit. The Revive version of the Qubeley, fantastic kit. Really nice. So this mass production version, it's a little bit modified as it has like the antenna on the head. I don't think that, and then the cannons on the back too. I know that Bandai did make a mass production Qubeley of the HGC Revive kit in this color scheme, but I don't know if it had those parts, like the cannons on the back and then the antenna on the head. I don't recall. Yeah, so it looks like that is all scratch built though. So like the back skirt, which is actually kind of like backpack binder part, is custom, and then it's like some custom parts for the arms, the cannons on the back and everything. So quite a lot of custom parts there on that one. That looks really cool. All right, now we're on into a different section here, how to build Gundam. This time, we have seen this in like past issues, And this does look very familiar. I think the last time we saw this was also on an old Zaku kit. This one's different, but definitely similar to what we saw in the last issue we took a look at. But sort of going back to the How to Build Gundam 2 is like a very popular and famous older Mook. But so this is like working on, what scale is this anyway? So it's actually a 1/72nd scale. Char's Zaku here. It's interesting. So this is the 1/72nd scale kit, and it's just going to cover a whole bunch of modification here onto this that you can do. So kind of going from this sort of like a very early quasi inner frame there that it has, modifications to that, adding some details and everything, adding some little bits of detail both inside and out, some details here added onto the outside also. It's pretty cool. So a lot of really great ideas in here if you're wanting to do like a custom build. We just wrapped up the Old to Gold contest. A lot of really great stuff that would have been useful for people working on Old to Gold Gundam kits, or any kind of model kits, I guess, but a lot of really interesting stuff on here. Very cool ideas for something like that. Oh yeah, really cool. I'm gonna have to take some mental notes here myself and go back and maybe study this in a bit more detail when I'm not in the middle of making a video, but some really cool stuff on there. All right, special talk here with Manabu Shintani. Not an artist that I'm familiar with, but let's see. This King Joe design, I guess, is maybe a design that he worked on. Maybe you guys know a little bit more about this particular mecha designer. Here's some more of these works here. Yeah, a lot of the stuff I recognize, but it's just not the kind of thing that I'm really that much into, so not much that I could really talk about with these, but kind of cool, like a little interview section here with a mecha designer. Well, these I'm obviously a bit more familiar with. Some of the Gundam Wing Side Story G-Unit series mecha designs, so there's those there, including a couple of the recent kits of the Esculapius and the Burnlapius. Those were P-Bandai HG kits. And then some of the Seed Freedom designs. So I guess maybe he worked on some of the Seed Freedom designs too. That's pretty cool. And then we've got a modeling section here about armor modeling. So this is on a tank model kit, the Tacom Stug 3 OS F8 late production. I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation and the name of that, but here's a bit about building and painting that particular kit there in 1/35th scale. If you guys are into that, we got some more nice images here of the finished build, and also a section here about a 1/55th scale. It's an auto scaling here for this Macross, either figure or model kit. It looks like it's almost a figure, I want to say, maybe not a model kit, or I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Very interesting looking though, kind of very retro Macross stuff, and we got the continuation of that. Yeah, these look like toys. These do, and yeah, that one too. These look like kind of just transforming toys. That's very cool. So we got other stuff, Batroid and Batroid Valkyries there. So all right, some retro Macross toys. Interesting. And then some other random stuff here. Cooking recipes for some reason. More stuff about the HGUC kits than our credits, and that's the end of the MOOCs. All right, yeah, a lot of really great stuff in there. So just going back to what I said at the beginning of the video, I do have this issue of Gundam Weapons that I want to give away to one of you guys. So in order to enter to win this issue of Gundam Weapons, make sure that you're subscribed, make sure that you liked this video, and leave a comment in the comment section and let me know which of the model kits from this MOOC that do not have HGUC kits would you guys like to see made into an HGUC kit. So some of these do, and if it's a kit that does have an HGUC kit, like don't put Double Zeta Gundam in the comments, unless I guess maybe if you wanted to make the point that you would like to see like an HGUC revived version. I know Bandai's not using the revive label anymore, but like an HGUC revived Double Zeta Gundam, I guess you could do that if it's a kit that already does have an HGUC kit and you want to see like an updated version of it. But let me know in the comment section which mobile suit from here you would like to see in the HGUC line, whether it be brand new or a revive version, and I'll choose one of your answers at random in about a week or so, and I'll get in touch with you and send you this as just a special thank you for your guys' support. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you to Riley for the donation of this as well. And so that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you want to check out some more Gunpla models for yourself, of course, you can check the link in the video description as well to USA Gundam Store. We got all sorts of great stuff there for you guys to check out. And I really appreciate your guys' support. Thank you so much. As always, leave a like, make sure that you're subscribed. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.